Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we're taking a look at some brand new crowd fighting and backstage brawl gameplay courtesy of the WWE 2K dev account, which I'll leave a link to in the video description so you can go check them out. What I'll do is I'll let the video play through for anyone that hasn't seen it, and then once it finishes I'll check back in and give you the full breakdown of everything that's possible in both the crowd and backstage. Enjoy!
What's up everybody? Jinx here representing WWE 2K Dev, and in today's video we're going to show you some of the areas that you can transition to and continue to brawl outside of the square circle. I hope you guys like it. Check it out.
You can now hop over the barricades and head into the crowd area, fighting these little pockets throughout the arena.
Oh, and did you hear the impact? Now it's...
There are a couple ways that you can head backstage. This time, I'm going through the ribbon. Get a quick little load, and now we're in the production area where you can continue to kick some booty. And if you get separated from your opponent, you get the nice little split screen effect. When you exit the production area, you can either continue to fight in the hallway or take it to one of the other areas like the locker room. These areas are sprinkled with interactive objects and OMG moments, so feel free to explore. There's another door down the hall that leads you to the authorities' office, where Triple H is looking on right here. And if you make your way down towards the end of the hallway, you'll hit the interview area. As you can see, Renee Young was interviewing Chris Jericho, where I'm sure he was calling someone a stupid idiot.
He may be in the best physical condition I've ever seen.
So when you're done kicking some booty backstage, you can head back into the arena and continue to beat down. This path will take you back to the arena, right next to the stage. Another cool addition is the ability to climb up on the stage. You just got to use that tricep meat. Hope you guys liked this little video we showed you. See you next time.
So there you go, that is your first proper look at both crowd fighting and backstage brawls in WWE 2K17, and I can confirm it is just as good to play as it looks. So let's jump back to the beginning of the footage and we'll play this through slowly so I can point out a few things. So we start things off here at ringside with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, where we see Roman laying into Sami with some punches that if you're close enough to the barricade will actually send your opponent flying over the top and into the new crowd area. Aside from punches, you can also enter the crowd by whipping your opponent in the barricade and then striking them, using a strong Irish whip to send them flying straight over, or as you can see at the beginning of the clip, you can actually use L1 to climb over yourself, which your opponent will then follow. Once you're in the new crowd area, you can see Roman continuing to throw punches, which when you're in the crowd or backstage, they actually see a different selling animation that has your opponent turn and kind of stumble, and this is used as a means of interacting with elements, as it allows them to fall towards things like the equipment boxes, which you can then interact with by using the grapple button. You'll also notice a water bottle on the floor which kind of stands out and catches your attention, as well as one on top of the two bins at ringside. However, in the version that I played, none of these elements were actually interactive. As we move over to the main crowd fighting area in this new section, you can see we have an equipment box, and that can be used to deliver high flying moves. However, to do so, you'll actually need the equipment box diver skill. There's also two chairs there to deal damage, the trash can that Roman's using, which can be placed on top of your opponent's head, and then sees them stand there until you strike them, which also does damage to the trash can. Also, at the very top of the screen, you'll notice a table. Now, this is set in place, therefore it can't be moved, which is a bit of a shame, as it would have been cool to actually carry it up the area behind the crowd and then set it up to do a diving move off the stage. But like I say, it's set in place, and therefore it can only be used with a finisher, as throwing your opponent into it allows for the use of a table finisher similar to the announce tables. Up next we have the reveal of a feature that everyone's been longing for such a long time, as we have Roman Reigns drag Sami Zayn up the ramp and towards the Minitron, where we can finally go backstage using the L1 button, which leads to this short cutscene as the backstage area loads up. Once the area is loaded, you'll see a short animation that sees you throw your opponent to the ground in the gorilla position behind the entranceway, and this is where we get our first look at one of the new weapons backstage, as it's actually possible to pick up the LCD TV and then use it to attack your opponent. However, unfortunately for Reigns, we'll actually see Sammy reversing it. Also visible behind the pair is another fixed table that the TV was standing on, which again is like the one at ringside, therefore this can only be used using a finisher icon to perform a table finisher. Aside from that, we've also got another equipment box and a trash can, but rather than use those, here we see Sammy thrown into the next area, which brings about the new split screen feature that appears every time a superstar either enters a different room or strays too far away from your opponent. As we make our way into the corridor, you'll once again see more trash cans that can be used, equipment boxes to dive off, and the trolley that Seth Rollins used in the previous footage before Roman actually throws Sammy in the locker room, which once again engages the split screen mechanism as they take the fight into the next area. Again, in here we'll have more trash cans and chairs, as well as another table at the bottom of the screen that is just out of view, where there's also a silver briefcase that can be used. Also, the lockers in the background, as seen in the previous footage, these could be used to perform the locker room super kick OMG Moments in return for one finisher, however you will need the ability assigned to do so. Next up, we see Roman heading into Triple H's office, where this time there's no cutscene of him actually leaving the room, and that's because if you walk up to the door and then enter using L1, then you'll actually see Triple H standing behind the desk as opposed to leaving. Once you're inside, if you whip your opponent in the desk like Sammy has here, then depending on which ability that you have assigned, you can either perform an OMG Moment powerbomb onto the desk or climb up onto it and deliver a devastating DDT. Aside from that, like the other rooms, you'll also see another fixed table and a briefcase over on the right hand side, as well as another steel chair. Now in this next bit of footage, before we actually reach the interview area, you can see a guardrail on the left hand side of the screen, and this can be interacted with in the same fashion as the barriers at ringside. Therefore, if you throw your opponent into it, you can lift them up and then drop them on top. Meanwhile, on the right side of the screen, you'll also see a carriage door, and this can be used to throw your opponent into it. As we move further up the hallway, you'll notice both Renee Young and Chris Jericho making a swift exit, as these can't be interacted with regardless of how fast you make your way to them, but there are a few things there. We've got chairs and the interview area itself, which you can see here is somewhat interactive, as you can knock parts down by throwing your opponent into them. Finally, we'll have another door towards the top of the corridor which can also be opened. However, rather than taking you to the parking lot or some other kind of area, this actually takes you back to ringside, and it sees your character emerge from the right hand side of the stage behind the curtain. Once you're here, there isn't any weapons or other interactive elements that are seen, but as you can see in the footage, you can actually perform moves on the concrete, as well as for the first time in a long time being able to climb up on the stage, where you can now deliver high flying moves, which is available to everyone and doesn't require any kind of skill. So there you go guys, that is a breakdown of this year's crowd fighting and backstage brawls. I've pretty much covered everything shown in the video and pretty much everything that you can do backstage and in the crowd. However, there are a few other OMG moments available, including this breaker box spear that we're seeing in the recent gameplay trailer, as well as the TV screen spear that we're also seeing in the previous footage. Anyway guys, that's it for this video, but I hope it's given you a good understanding of what is possible when fighting both in the crowd and backstage this year. There's a few things I didn't cover, so I'll kind of just cover them now in a few little notes. It's backstage brawls that do work just like they did on last gen. So we did read in the article on IGN that you can have pinfalls. However, in the version that I played, it was a case of you just brawl until you do so much damage, and then like on last gen, once you have done that damage, your opponent's red. If you use one of the interactive moments like the spear, the TV monitor, anything like that, that'll actually cause the end of the match as your opponent will get KO'd, or alternately if you use a finisher, then that too can KO your opponent. As for anything else, I think we've pretty much seen all of the OMG moments that are included backstage so far, at least the ones that were in the demo, is all the ones that were seen, the breaker box spear, TV spear, the table finishers. There may be a few different table finishers, but I think that is the only kind of differences, as everything including the demo was skill sets and OMG moments that do get assigned to superstars. So of all the ones actually included, those were assigned to superstars, and there wasn't anything else that I could find. But hopefully when the new game comes out, the full game, then we actually do get a few more OMG moments in there, and it's not a case that they've already shown off everything, and there is still a few surprises in there. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you want to see more OMG moments included in there? Do you think there will be any more? And what do you make of the backstage area in general? Because we got told that there were 3 different areas, and I guess this does now cover it. We've got the locker room, we've got Triple H's office, and the corridor, which kind of also has that gorilla position, and then from there we'll go back to ringside. So it looks like these are all 3 of those options, and unfortunately we won't be getting parking lot or anything else this year, but with things to come, maybe they can expand on it. We'll get parking lot next year, maybe the crowd fighting can even improve and we can go up the stands, which would be quite cool. But like I say, we've got a long time to wait for that in WWE 2K 2K18. So let's get 2K17 out the way. It's looking awesome. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more, but until next time, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.